Good morning. I see you there. I see you. I do. And I appreciate you being here this morning. Let me talk to you without my tuning fork in my mouth. And what we'll go ahead and do this morning is talk a little bit about um, what it means to show up every day. Let's see. I guess this is different now. Good morning, Mark. I see you there, Mark. And I think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and give this another start. Let me just bear with me for one moment, and we'll see what it is we're doing here. There we go. There we go. I think we got the right start. So I'm just tuning up. I'm working a little bit with a couple of different picking solutions. I've been using my index, middle, and ring fingers, and I'm also using my, the Jim Dunlop Jazz 2. It's not so pointy. The Jim Dunlop Jazz 3. It's a little more pointy with a different kind of grip. And of course, I'm featuring my weekend picks, my picks from the Netherlands, and I really like these picks an awful lot. So I'll likely be using this morning. Got my guitar here, my Martin DX2E, my capo, my Page capo, and my A440 tuning fork, and my metronome, which is at 60 beats per minute. So we're ready to basically just begin and start doing some guitar warm-ups. And if you're just starting out here, this is my morning ritual for guitar growth. And this is, I do this every weekday morning at, 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And my goal is to do this for the entire year of 2025. Also, you can see down here on the floor, I don't know if you can see him or not, but here's our good friend, our shop dog, Murphy. So he's our guitar companion for the morning. And I just wanted to start with a little different perspective. Let's see if the guitar's in tune this morning. It almost never is, but this morning it seems like it is. Love those grooves to get going. But I'm thinking just in terms of super simple guitar, just getting right down to the business at hand. Mark, and I think it's just you and me. I see 8 people here, but I only see 3 of your comments. So I'm assuming there are some others here. I see 4 people here now, but if you're here, if you wanted to drop us a, smash that like button right out of the gate, that'd be okay with me. Let's go ahead and start with fingers 3 and 4. We're doing some breathing and some posturing. And this is pretty much how I would approach my guitar in the morning, which is just, it's quiet time. There's not much. If I'm doing my morning ritual for guitar growth by myself, by my lonesome, which really I am doing. I'm doing this lonely, with you. It's a really interesting dynamic for me. But if I'm going to do this by myself with Murphy, with my dog here, there's no talking. There's no I usage. It's not like I say we all the time. I'm referring to our eyes, which we use to see. I don't open them typically, I don't look, I just kind of keep using my ears and using my fingers to make my way through the ritual. So that's something that I don't share with you very often, you know what I mean? Once in a while I'll do a quick tune-up and just kind of make sure, a quick check and be sure that I'm sharing with you the important features of what it is we're actually doing. So when you're doing this stuff on your own, we do not need our eyes. But we do need good quality breath and good quality posture. And I keep sort of leaning over for some reason. I'm not sure what's going on this morning. But I'm going to work on my breath until my breath becomes normalized. I gotta tell you, because if you've had a week like we've had for the last week and a half, 2 weeks, it's been moderately stressful, and I'm here, you know, every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. just to share with you exactly what a guitar practitioner, you know, not that I'm anything special, but I am a guitar practitioner who's been practicing the guitar for a long period of time, and these are still the things that I do, and I make it here in an attempt to make it here every morning because this is my job, this is what I do. I mean, it's what I do for a living, you know, and it doesn't mean that I always want to get up and go to the office, quote unquote, go to the office, but it does mean that since I made these decisions and choices long time ago, these are the maintenance patterns that I keep now, and that's okay. So I'm just walking you through, you know, I've had hundreds, maybe thousands of probably thousands of students, I guess, at this point, and even more on the internet, right? But what I've learned from the face-to-face, you know, spending 1, 2, 3, 5, 7, 10 years with a student, you know, I have multiple students who've been with me for more than a decade. And so I learn, you know, we get familiar. Most of us feel the same way. We kind of get up in the morning and we realize, like, geez, I don't even know why I play the guitar. Why do I even bother? So many of us share those sentiments, those kind of negative sentiments. And it's just really, really easy to let that overtake us if we allow it. But the trick is to rise up in the morning, grab your guitar, say, I got this, put a smile on the face before we even get out of bed, before we get out of the rack. And then this warm-up isn't really, you know, it's intended to be for, you know, a general audience, a very wide audience. But it's not really for everyone, you know, if you're not the guitar practitioner. I guess if you were sort of, you know, if your interests were in psychology and you had some sort of, you know, you wanted to understand some sort of longitudinal data or something, this is going to supply, you know, longitudinal data, at least for 1 year, right? Every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time for an entire year, for the entire year of 2025. Good Lord willing. I'm going to come back and check the comments in a minute. I don't really know what's going on, but I want to focus a little bit more on my breathing. Get that under control before I start moving on. guitar is really a wild instrument, isn't it? You know, it's a great instrument. So, let's see. Oh, play Sweet Child of Mine, please. Yeah, all right. Knight, are you still here, Knight? Mr. DP? Let's see if you're still here. And let's see what's going on. Oops, spoke too soon. Focus is good. It's nice to get all the way through the guitar exercises before I have to go to work. So I like the focus. Good, me too. 1, 2, let's go ahead and fingers. You spoke too soon though. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So we're using 1, 2, 3, and then we'll go back and use 1, 3, 4. This is just a really basic, sort of simple morning ritual, no strings attached, no frills. Just sort of get the thing done and do it. Just get it work done. And I'm with you, Mark. Before we're done, they're good for my brain. Yeah, all right, got it. Anyway, these are the type of exercises that the masters of the craft use, so they're good enough for me. Well, I guess that's kind of what I looked at, you know what I mean? I thought, what a great way to wake up to the guitar every morning, you know? What a great way to wake up, period, every morning. It's just it's a beautiful thing, you know? And I'm going to spend a lot of time not talking today, and we'll see what that does to numbers, you know, because maybe what I'm supposed to be doing is just doing what Frank Zappa mentioned and shut up and play your guitar, you know what I mean? 1, 3, and 4, here we go, you know what to do. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here we go. 2, and here we go. Swing eighths right here, jazz eighths. And straight eighths. And fingers 1, 2, 3, stretch 4. 2, E, and a, you know what to do. Yeah, you know, the regular attendees is important, you know. Yeah. Come on, sir. Creed. Oh, Creed. On mixing up the numbers, the subdivisions, you know. Hey, Ames. Thoughts? Good morning. Just working on focusing, minimizing the talk, you know, just working on getting through the morning ritual and, you know, really kind of just doing this how I would normally do it. If I didn't have an audience, you know, if the audience just was me and God, me and the Lord, and my companion, my doggy companion, Murphy, this is what I would be doing and working on. I'd start kind of using 1 attack per beat, 2 attacks per beat, 3 attacks per beat, 4 attacks per beat, 5 attacks per beat, 6, 7, 8 attacks per beat, and I'm all at 60 beats per minute. So this is really some, hey, good morning, kind lady, lady bourgeois, good morning. And it's wonderful to, oh, I knew you were going to ask, not an Ian. I knew you were going to ask. Keep asking me that because not yet, but I will. I guarantee you I will. I'm going to keep working on it. Just got to keep it coming to get it through my my cortex into the frontal lobe so that I can remember it once I leave here because I make these notes and I have so many production notes right now that it's a little bit of a challenge, but you being here reminding me is going to help improve my situation. So thank you. And more than that, thank you for your patience. So here we go. And I'm just working on what would I do if I didn't have people here with me watching. And this is just me and the Lord, right? And my doggy Murphy. So it's just very simple. Now I'm going from like 6 attacks per beat to 4 attacks per beat. And to shift those gears and have us be able to walk right into 2 attacks per beat and still not feel rushing, still feel like we're right on time and then move into 5s. Just to be sure that I'm kind of becoming fluent in all of those rhythmic subdivisions and finger permutations, super important to me. Now we'll go ahead and do the same thing with the diagonal pattern, which is what we know to be a really great sort of a game changer for the picking hand, especially because it gives us with the 1 attack per each string. It could be down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. It could be alternate picking. It could be efficiency. It's mostly sweep in this case. But we're just working on sort of like confidence and tone. So that comes from just for me, it comes from just kind of not really sort of like beating myself up too much anymore, but it comes from a long time of being sort of with the guitar and just generating good quality tone. You'll notice today I'm sitting with the guitar over my other knee, my left knee, and this is just by design to help offset the strain that occurs on this side of the body when I stretch and turn the other direction every day for this past year, right? So we're working on just counterbalancing, counterpoints wherever we can to keep our bodies and our spirits and our minds healthy, our souls healthy. Don't let the sort of, just don't let what is it? The serpent's tongue. Don't let the serpent's tongue sort of in your ears, Resist the serpent, I'll do this thing where I break it down a little bit more into different there's a lot going on there just within the span of that one little exercise. Zach Attack, good morning. Mark Roca, good morning. So we have Mark, the Mark, and Mr. Roca. I'll call you Roca. Is Zach Attack's back? What string gauge do you use for electric? It depends on the guitar, Zach, doesn't it? Yeah. Good morning, crew. It's been a while. I've been thinking about you, Mr. Husband. I've been thinking about you, Dan. Like, it's just funny how the internet builds these little relationships that we never expected to exist, that were never supposed to occur in nature. But now we have, I remember your guitars, I remember you're talking about your string gauges and your flat wounds, and I remember all of those things because, believe it or not, it means something to me, right? Now, the problem that we have with doing this kind of thing is there's a theory in psychology and in some scientific disciplines called Dunbar's number. So I'm not sure if you're familiar with that, how familiar with it. I don't know why I would be familiar with it. I just am. I happen to pick it up somewhere, one of those trivia pursuit things or whatever, maybe, I don't know. But Dunbar's number is the capacity that we have as humans to cognize or recognize or communicate with, we'll call them friends or acquaintances. And it's something like 130 or to 150 different people that we can sort of like catalog and index in our minds and keep straight the messaging, keep all of the people organized. And after we get beyond a certain number, we start to lose the capability to personalize the individual relationships and then the interpersonal communications. So, this whole internet thing is kind of basically, dismantled Dunbar's number, and how have we been dealing with it over the past, I guess really maybe the mid to late 90s, maybe something like that. It only seems to persist and sort of snowball more and more every year. But we're here and we're doing it, and I appreciate you being here, Dan. Mr. Husband from the north. Yeah. I was just talking to someone else on the channel earlier this morning about coming down through Dawson City, and he said he's a guitar player from Dawson City, and from the Yukon, and I said, hey, I drove by through there, and I thought, so we had this little conversation, and he's just a really great, real wonderful blues guitar player, and if you keep driving down that road, you meet Bruce Coburn and just a bunch of great musicians all over the world, and how we find each other sometimes is mind-boggling to me, But I started off this morning's ritual, as you know, it's typically I try to narrate the process. I've been trying to not do that. I've been trying to take today to just go through my ritual on my own so that you can observe how I would do this with my own person, not talking and not trying to present material, but to try to just do this for myself and do this alone with God, right, with the Lord, and practice them. So I'm trying to build up spiritual connectiveness and those connective tissues that relate between the person and the guitar. That's sort of always been a point of interest for my own person, is to very carefully just observe what the instrument is capable of as an extension of my own person, my own musical person, right? And so I look at the guitar that I have in hand as an extension of that, musical person. And it's not always communicated well. Those ideas, those relationships I hope for others to build aren't always communicated well when I just keep talking and rambling, and just because I feel like we need a space holder, because I don't want to leave you guys hanging or stranded, just kind of wondering what's going on. But what's going on this morning is I'm going to, just through discipline, just for the sake of disciplining my own approach, I do want to try to get through this with a minimalistic approach here. And I'm not sure, what have you been working on lately, Dan? Maybe we can catch up for a second while I just kind of finish up the stretch and take a sip of the morning brew, because I haven't really caught up with you for a while. And hey, Mark. I wanted to come back to Zach's too. Like, what string gauges do you use? I know like for what kind of, like if I'm playing Stevie Ray Vaughan, I want a Strat with like 11s on the top. And then, you know, I wanted to have some meat on the top of the guitar. And then if I'm playing like Joe Satriani, I might get 9s are great. If I'm doing, you know, it depends. If I'm playing like jazz, if I'm working on Wes Montgomery or Jim Hall or Kurt, I really want flat wounds on my guitar with 11s set up on that guitar. And I want it to be either a Stratocaster or a jazz box guitar or a semi-hollow guitar, such as the such as this guitar right here, right? I think this guitar is kind of a fun one to have a hold of. Yeah, just it is kind of a cool guitar for the money, but those are the guitars that I'll try to string those things up with different gauges. And if you bear with me, I just have to communicate one thing here to, let's see. I have a friend who's, we're getting ready to play some music together, and he's just checking to see if I'm up for it still this morning. From the Philippines, Mr. Roca. Oh, good morning, Mr. Roca again. It's always a pleasure, Jason. I'm still playing every day and follow along with you when I can, brother. Yeah, that's great. That's great to hear. It's the playing of the guitar is it's important, you know. But I don't need to justify that to you. So let's go ahead and, because you already know, so let's go ahead and continue on. I'm just going to work. Oh, let me just give you this too. I'm going to work through, if you don't have this PDF yet, let me just see if I can get this PDF for you. If you want to bear with me, I've got a beautiful PDF, like it's just a beautiful blues PDF. So let me just give you this, and I'll give you this link, and then you can watch the video if you'd like. But in this video, there's a link on the website where you're going for where you're going to get this PDF binder. So the PDF binder is what you're really looking for. So play a world-class guitar solo with just one pentatonic shape. That's 5 shapes right here. Let me just give you the copy of this. Share video, and I'll copy this. Now I want to paste this into this stream here. Can I do that? I can do that. I know some of you definitely already have it, and let me just post this over here. But if you go visit that video, you can grab the binder, the complete binder. It's a great binder, and there it is for you. I've been playing a lot of acoustic and built some finger strength, so I was thinking about going from 10 to 48 to 11/48 for a little more tension on electric. Yeah, that's a great. I definitely have done that. And then what I feel like, Zach, I want to talk about that over this piece right here, because these are pretty stable. These shapes are pretty stable for me, so I think I can talk over this. I sometimes will have difficulty talking over what I'm playing for the guitar, but you can see this is the minor pentatonic. I talk over the guitar so much that it's sort of like, it feels sort of like natural for me now, like breathing. But the problem that we have as guitar players is we want the low E string, because the low E string is so massive. It's so thick, and it's wound, and it's wound for sound. Just like my Victrola in the parlor, you know, you got to wind it up to get the sound out of it. But that spring doesn't last as long as you'd like it to sometimes. But my tendency is to, and probably our tendency, which is sort of a bad habit, is to get to the top of the guitar and then push that high E string a little bit more. Listen. To try to keep up with the volume of the lower end of the guitar. Just so we perceive that balance. So really what I'm trying to do is realize that there's a dynamic range of every string. Each string isn't necessarily always that well balanced. And it really depends on which guitar we're using at the moment and how the guitar has sort of been built and tuned, and which resonant frequencies occur in the wood of the guitar. And this works both for acoustic and electric guitars. But it's always been my, my tendency is by the time I get to the top of a run is just to kind of just slam on that high E string, but it sounds so flat and so lifeless, And I think that's probably one of the things you're interested in right now, is to maintain that fat tone. Now we're still going to smash that high E string when we get to the top of the string, but there will be more resistance with an 11 on the top. And then what I would typically do is feather them down. I don't, just add an 11. What I'll do is I'll add a bulk string on the top, and then start to feather them down to nothing, to 0 or 48 or whatever you put on, 46 even on the bottom. So at that really, or 52 or whatever you're putting on the bottom, but just keep in mind that whenever we change the string gauge, we're going to have to go through a neck adjustment as well, right? We're going to have to go through just a period of time where the guitar adjusts to that, and that's good to have on two separate instruments. Have a guitar that's wound, where the string tension is just high, and then another guitar where the string tension is just sort of like buttery smooth and silky, and that way you can really learn to respond to. I know it's sort of a pain sometimes to have multiple instruments and maintain multiple instruments and be the custodian of multiple instruments, but that's really what we're talking about, because the guitars don't really like to have their their necks adjusted all the time. It's probably not a big deal, but some guitars that are they're sensitive, they're finicky, they're not really roadworthy, and they're finicky to being fiddled with. Other guitars are made like tanks, and they don't care if they have string gauges changed every week, every day, or whatever. Just experiment with them for a few weeks until you find something you like. String gauge and string tension is, I actually made a whole video about string tension, and just the philosophy of, I think I did a deep dive just walking through, wondering about string tension. So I don't know if you could search for it on my channel or not. I'm not sure. So we've been through pattern 1 of the pentatonic system, fingers 2, or pattern 2 of the pentatonic system. Pattern 3 of the pentatonic system is coming up. So let's go ahead and start that now. I'm making all kinds of little mistakes this morning, so, you can benefit from that if you like. Hey, I played better than Jason. That's the whole goal, I hope that you all feel confident in your playing abilities, That's the goal. That's the real gift, is when we feel contentment and joyfulness in what it is we do, where you can literally live it and feel it. That joyfulness really sort of resonates outward. It resonates outward, and so too does the insecurities, right? So too do the insecurities. They sort of linger out there, and they communicate non-verbally, and that's, it's no fun, but it's stuff that we have to go through. We're all victim to it. We all go through it, and we can't be, proficient and reach high levels of proficiency in every field, right? I mean, we could become generalists and be reasonably good at everything, but if we're talking, this is shape 1. And that PDF binder that I just shared in the chat, right? You can go back and see the one that I just shared. We're going to do shape 1, 2, 3, 4 now. So it's a unique binder because in it there are 2 pages where one page is just a simple illustration of the chord, the chord reference charts and the finger patterns. And there's another page dedicated to, 2 vertical side-by-side fretboard diagrams, full length fretboard diagrams, which that's designed to just help us link these shapes together. And you can hear, Zach, that I'm working on as I approach the high E string. I'm taking those tones and I'm trying to balance how each string responds. Each string has a dynamic response to the plucked or to the attack. And I'm trying to balance them all out so they're all super even, right? So there isn't one string that's louder and then I'm not compensating by the time I get to the high E string. When we arrive at the high E string, it should be just smooth sailing. It should be, gliding on ice right before the hockey stop. You know what I mean? It should be just that flow state the whole way through. So we've got position 1, position 2, position 3. I played position 3 2 different ways, by the way. One with the first finger stretch back and one with the 4th finger stretch up. And then the shape number 5 is this one where it's 2 4 2 4 1 4 1 4 2 4 2 4. And then one of those exercises I like to work on is short tones and little pulses, like when you're stepping on the the accelerated pedal of a Ferrari F355. That accelerator pedal, the response, there's no lag there. The response is like immediate, and there's no lag between, or when you plug your guitar into a digital audio workstation, there could be like some latency in the system. Right now, I want to observe this being zero latency and long tones, short tones, very clear tones, well articulated, well attacked. So there's no open string availability there, but hey Marco, what's going on, Marco? Let's see what I missed. Let's just back up and see what I missed. Let's take just a quick break to stretch, and then you can see I'm working on the other lap today, so just balancing out the old body. And Zach, so Marzak actually, Lots of guys prefer lots of tension. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's no doubt. You know, if life's too easy, something's wrong, right? If you don't have that resistance, then something must be wrong. Yeah. Robbie, good morning. Music. Stevie played heavy gauge strings and high, actually, yeah, from the neck. Nice buttery feel. Yeah, there's great literature for study, for observation. And then the best thing to do, I've found, is to, get a spreadsheet, take note of all of the things that you want to observe, all of the changes that you want to observe while you're, changing strings. What did you have to do to the guitar once you changed the string gauge? Did you need to adjust some neck? How many quarter turns of the truss rod were needed? And then how did it feel? Journal it like it's actually like something that's significant to you, because every guitar will eventually, act and behave differently with different string gauges. So there's plenty of reason to do all of that stuff. Yeah. Mark, sorry, I think I saw you took off. And I'm sorry to miss you leave, but brother, I hope that you have a super Friday and a super weekend. And I see Robbie just pulling in for the slow burn, and let's go ahead and get right back at it, because now we're all stretched out. And I wanted to talk a little bit about just what it means to be an improvisational guitar player today, and what it means to be an improvisational guitar player. So I'm just going to work with a really basic framework, and then that would be the G chord. I'm going to approach this through some very simple and very basic country strumming, or bluegrass strumming, which is the old boom chick, boom chick, boom chick. All right, so it's super easy. Maybe G7, which leads up to C chord, Could do C sharp diminished, back up to the D, the G with the D and the bass, right? And then walking down to the old D chord, and then back to the C, this is all basically the 12-bar blues form. And it's super important to know how to just sit back and give someone else another chance, Most of our problems in humanity right now occur because we don't know when to sit back on the bench and let someone else take a solo, And then when they do, we can't let them talk, The problem is we don't know how to observe what they're saying, which is obviously different from what we're going to say. And because they know different scales, they know different patterns. But if I keep playing solos and I keep trying to do single note lines and just kind of be the showstopper that I am intuitively, because I'm naturally a showstopper. I mean, you just take one look at me and you're like, dude, that dude's a showstopper. And you put him on a stage, good luck anybody else, right? I mean, it's not really what's going on, but that's kind of how a lot of us treat ourselves. And so I think it's good to just be able to sit down and just do this too. I'm not playing, but I'm still listening. And I know exactly where I am because I'm going into the 4 chord. I know where I am in the form of the song. I know what's going on. But I'm listening to Miles Davis blow horn right now, and when Miles gets done blowing his horn, I'm going up to the 5 to watch all hell break loose and just give him a little support there, and then it's coming back around. It gets to be my part, my turn again. But I'm listening to how he finishes up, and I'm going to run on his idea that he leaves me with. So I'm going to respect what he had to say. Part of the song. We're done trading 4s or trading 12s or trading 24s or trading for whatever we were trading, whatever we were doing to interact musically with one another. Now we're singing, the song about me liking purple popsicles. Who knows what it is and who cares what it is. It's about, or I didn't get the last purple popsicle in the box because I was nice and kind and someone else snatched it and didn't think to leave it for me. Now I'm gonna live in vengeance and try to get that purple popsicle next time, or what. There's so many human stories to tell with song. Now I'm just thinking about kind of hanging out. And just playing some slack key, or maybe some pastoral chords, and just kind of giving it the old chunk, the Freddie Green. it just gets crazy. You just do whatever you want, but I think those are great little practice sessions, little discovery practice sessions to hold for yourself, just to see. It's just an observance of the state of your art. You know, where are we at? Just a little check-in with your own condition, with your own comfortability, and just, we're not pushing, we're not just trying to be flashy, Mr. or Sister Flash, sister or brother Flash, but we're just doing the things that that just feel good and feel comfortable, and push yourself a little bit, but you know, don't beat ourselves up too much when we don't meet those golden arches, because you know, little hint here is we'll never really reach them. You know what I mean? Just enjoying the journey along the way is the most important piece of all this. As you know this all. So what if I'm just playing, you know, minor 7, major 7, flat, sharp 5 or whatever? Have a great weekend all. Thanks for your time on great stuff. Hey Robbie, I hope you have a good weekend too. I'm just going to wrap it up with that, and we'll hope to see Kevin again on Monday, and all of you. Thanks for just hanging out and being good people and doing good things and spreading good news. You know, that's super important, you know, as you know. So let's just take a look at what happens if we're just kind of working on the G blues again. What happens when we start playing? You know, what happens when we start working melodic minor in there, right? So we'll leave that for another time. But anyway, happy Friday, gang, and happy picking indeed, Jill. Thanks so much for being here. I really do hope you have a wonderful weekend. Everybody be good, safe out there. And until we meet again on Monday at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time, I do wish all of you happy picking, and well said, Jill. See you again.